So, I got a question about how to teach a horse to be okay with clipping. I decided to make a short tutorial on this. I knew that I had some older videos of me teaching my horse that I had previously to cooperate in clipping, but unfortunately I couldn't find these videos. I don't know where they went. So, I decided to take my baby thoroughbred and to start from scratch. So, this is what you can see on this video. This is my 4 years old off the track thoroughbred whom I've had for about 3 months. So he knows the basics of the positive reinforcement training and of cooperative care, and we are going to build it from there. So in this video, I will show you the steps of how to teach the horse to be okay with clipping. I'm going to teach him to cooperate in this procedure voluntarily based on the positive reinforcement trainings. So there's no need for any restraint or there is no forcing the horse to make him do something, make him stand still for clipping. This is quite the opposite. The horse learns that he can earn some reward for performing cooperative behaviors, but that he is allowed to leave the session, which you will see a few times on this video. So essentially, when it comes to clipping, there are several criteria, several things that horses need to get familiar with. First thing is the appearance of the clippers. There are several types and several sizes, so especially those big clippers that we use for clipping the entire horse's body can look pretty scary, and the horse needs to get familiar with this object and with this object touching his body. The next thing is the noise. Some of the clippers are noisier than the others. Again, those big clippers that we use for clipping the entire horse are often pretty noisy, so the horse needs to get used to the noise. The next thing is the vibrations that the clippers make. So these are the three criteria that we have to train separately. So the appearance of the clippers and the fact that this object is touching the horse's body, then the noise of the clippers, and then the vibrations. So let's start training. In this video, I'm going to show you all the steps, but please note that this is for you to see the entire big picture. It will probably take you several training sessions to teach your horse to cooperate in his clipping, especially when your horse doesn't like this procedure. So take your time and prioritize your horse's calmness and comfort. So here with my horse, I started with repeating some food manners and some targeting behavior. So as you can see, I have him touching the target and following it around a little bit just to strengthen his behavior and to offer him some easy behavior to start with. Now I'm taking the cone, which will be our stationary target. So I'm leading him a little bit around with the target, and then I put it into the cone and make it a stationary target. This will be a part of our consent behavior because cooperative care is a consent based care. It's based on the animal giving consent with a procedure. So for my horse and for this situation, the consent behavior will be him touching the target. Make sure that the stationary target is in front of the horse's nose, not under his chin or not somewhere where the horse cannot see it and when the horse cannot comfortably touch it. So I remind him a little bit that there is a target and it's his task to touch it. And then when he touches the target, I click and reinforce. Now I'm starting with consent behavior. So I add another piece between him touching a target and me reinforcing this behavior, which will be me touching his withers or his shoulder blade, which is an area of the horse's body where most of the horses tolerate being touched. So he touches the target, I touch his shoulder blade. Then I click and reinforce. So he learns that touching the target will be followed with me touching his body, and it will be followed with giving him a reward. When he doesn't touch the target, I will not proceed with touching his body. And this is what the consent behavior means. So in this case, it's learned behavior, but the consequence for the horse is clear. The horse touches the target, I start touching his body. I wait until the horse touches the target, until the horse gives me his consent. So now I'm leading him around a little bit. I'm giving him a short pause. So I put some treats in the grass for him to eat. And this is how it looks like when you ask your horse to stay clean for a session. So you can take a neat video, but your horse for some reason decides to roll, and for some reason he always decides to roll next to some object. Here we are training again. So I'm leading him to the target. I make it stationary. He touches the target, I click and reinforce. He touches the target, I present the clippers this time. So I add another piece between him touching the target and me rewarding him. So here I adjust the stationary target a little bit so it's in front of his nose. Then he touches the target, I touch him with the clippers. He touches the target, I touch him with the clippers, I click and reinforce. So here he decided to leave. Maybe he was a little bit overwhelmed with the new task that he's learning. Maybe he was just bored because he's a young horse and he doesn't really want to stand still for a longer period of time yet. So I decided to lead him around a little bit to move him, and then we can go back to cooperative clipping. So he touches the target. I sometimes reinforce him just touching the target. It is really important not to make it harder and harder for the horse and letting him earn reward in an easy way every once in a while. It keeps him motivated. So this time he touched the target and I touched him with the clippers. Then I decided to move the target a little bit away to be in a good angle with the camera so you can see what I'm doing. And now I'm leading him around a little bit because I know that he would get bored easily if I made him stand still for longer. So I'm going to adjust this stationary target a little bit so it's further away and he can see it and he can easily touch it with his nose. So he touches the target and I touch him with the clippers. He touches the target, I touch him with the clippers, click and reinforce. This time he touches the target and I switch the clippers on. So this is the next thing, the noise that he has to get familiar with. So he touches the target, I switch the clippers on. Now he probably wants to look at the clippers and he's taking a step away from me. So I respond to this by giving him a short pause and moving him around a little bit. A little reminder that there is a target to be touched. There are some scary noises coming from the forest, from the birds, so he is losing his focus every once in a while. He touches the target, I switch the clippers on. He touches the target, I switch it on, click, and reinforce. Again, sometimes I reinforce just touching the target to make it easier for him. So he touches the target, I click and give him a reward. This time he touches the target and I switch the clippers on and then click and reward. So this time he is getting familiar with the noise of the clippers. I'm not touching him yet because there's another component of this, and these are the vibrations that some horses find quite scary or aversive. So I'm waiting for him to touch the target. I remind him a little bit of what we are doing now. I give him a reward. He touches the target. I switch the clippers on, click, and reinforce. He touches the target. I start moving the clippers around a little bit so that he gets familiar with this thing moving around his body. He touches the target again. I reinforce just him touching the target. Okay, now he starts losing focus a little bit, so I do some targeting behavior to keep him focused. Then I make the target stationary again. And this time I decided to touch him with my hand with the clippers switched on. So I'm not touching him directly with the clippers, but I'm certain he can feel the vibrations. So this time I'm touching him a little bit more with my hand with the clippers switched on. Again, I'm reinforcing, touching the target. And this time I'm touching him with the clippers that are on so he can feel the vibrations. As you can see, he's pretty calm and relaxed, even if this is probably the first time ever that he experiences this. So this is cooperative clipping in the nutshell. I hope this tutorial was helpful. And if you are interested in equine cooperative care and all the things associated with this topic, subscribe to this channel and also follow Vet Care Training on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much for watching.